What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Jump. Now, guys, we want to fly all the way to Orlando, Florida, which was the site of the CPAC conference, which is the Conservative Political Action Conference in Orlando, Florida. Now, for those of you who know about this event, recently Black YouTuber Young Pharaoh was supposed to speak there, but because some hate speech allegations against the Jewish community, he was not allowed to speak. So it's a pretty big convention, right? Candace Owens spoke, and former President number 45 Donald Trump spoke. And a partition of the speech that I'm going to focus on is he talked about that Joe Biden should basically be ashamed of himself for allowing kids to participate in sports that correspond with their gender identities. He's also talking about transgender women are waging some kind of war on sports because of the advantages held by those he believes are biological males. Now, Candace Owens comes out and says that, Donald Trump is a feminist hero, okay? Because she says, if you guys are wondering what actual feminism is, it's Donald Trump having the courage to stand up on stage and call out the insanity of biological men dominating women's sports. I want to talk about this real quick because, obviously this is the manosphere and I don't deal in women's issues. I don't deal in women's sports. I believe that it is really not my space to do so I don't. That's something that, women can do themselves. But since it's a hot topic around the nation, I do get a lot of guys sending me, like the UFC fighters, where you have transgender women who were born men that are competing against women, and they're literally breaking their skull, okay? They're literally demolishing some of these women. You have people playing in women's sports now that are biological men. It's an unfair advantage, in my opinion, okay? Now, I'm not going to go back and forth with, who thinks such as so. And I'm going to leave that part of the argument alone because I'm not going to sit here and debate, if transgender women should be able to compete in sports with cis women, okay? That's up for you to decide. But if we want to talk about feminism and what feminism means in its, regular word, okay? What is the meaning of being a feminist? It's the belief that social, economic, and political equality among the sexes, all right? That's what that is. Now, what it means today is really something completely different. I think a lot of people have, everything evolves, right, from the original definition. But, now feminism is more associated with, being against men, hating men, stuff like that. This is what, it's associated with wanting to give unfair advantages to women over men. But the real reality is giving the same equality to women as they are to men. And what Donald Trump is arguing is that, hey, it's unfair to let a person that is a biological man and he's transgender to compete against cis women. What's more understandable is if you are a transgender woman, then it makes sense to make sports where transgender women can compete against one another and cis women to compete against one another, okay? But then you have Candace Owens who comes out, and I agree with her. There's a lot of things about Candace Owens I don't agree with, but this I agree with. I think that this is a fair point. I've seen women who are being beat to a pulp by men, or women who were born as men and become transgender women. I've seen this, so and it breaks my heart to a certain degree, although I don't deal with it. Here you have people from the black community calling her names, okay? Calling her a white supremacist, basically all these other things. She's a grifter down to the core. And I can understand people not liking Candace Owens. All right? And people want to talk about she's desperate for attention and all of these things. That might be the point. What I'm dealing with is right now, does she have a point on what she's trying to say? Is Donald Trump trying to be fair, or is his argument good enough to be fair that women who were born as women shouldn't have to compete in sports against people who have a higher testosterone level that were born as men and then become transgender women? That's what he's saying there. He's putting that out there. He's trying to protect women, okay? And Donald Trump, you know, people want to call him a misogynist and things like that. But understand this. A lot of times when masculine men want to come to the aid of women, it's not well received, okay? And I want to talk about why I don't really talk about a lot of women things. Number one, I'm in the manosphere, and so I really don't have that much of an interest. But the perspective of how, you know, we would like to give, you know, help women with certain things from our perspective, that I would believe that will be a lot more logical and beneficial. There are a lot of women who don't want that assistance from guys, okay? And, you know, and if you're a woman that agrees with things that protect women, I mean, ultimately you can get hit with ad hominem attacks. This is what's going on with Candace Owens. So what happens in situations like this? A lot of guys see what's happening in sports, believe that there's an unfair advantage, but they're going to remain to keep quiet, just like I'm going to do. After this video, I'm done with it. All right? You know, I believe that if this is what women want to do, some of them, the powers that be, fine. Okay? That's their decision. I mean, I have an opinion on that, but that's fine. Because a lot of times, men's opinion on wanting to protect or help women doesn't matter. A lot of women in America are those who are supposedly beneficial to them or supporting them. You know, they have no real interest in what guys have to say. You know, especially as we know in the black community. And I think in this case, Candace Owens makes a good position. She's given the president, his ex-president rather, the correct due. I believe here you have a man looking out for the best interests of women, and people want to come for, you know, him personally. They want to come for her personally. And I think that's why a lot of guys in America are just, you know what, saying like, you know what, we're not even going to worry about the issues of women. We're going to worry about the issues of ourselves. And for me, that's what I'm going to do. And I know a lot of you brothers are thinking the same. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the Patreon, check out all the information pinned to the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I am out.